All right, guys, March Madness is next week, which means we have to get ready for the game. I know it's all going to be about, the wings and things, the little finger sandwiches, the subs, my cat's a crackhead, stuff like that, sweet treats. But you know what it's all about? It's all about the finger foods, the snacks, the things that you can just grab right in front of you when the game is on and you can stuff it in your face. So today we're going to be making the most amazing black bean dip you've ever had in your life. And not only is this special because we're doing this for March Madness, it's also going to be great for tailgating, for Super Bowl, for stuff like that. But it's a viewer request recipe. And this one comes from my friend Rebecca Tracy, all the way from the land down under in Australia, which makes this even more special. She said to please, 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 could I show her how to make a delicious dip from frijoles negros, which are black beans here in America, just less fancy, because it's not so available in Australia. So, Rebecca, if you're watching this, we love you. Thanks for requesting this item. If there's anything else you would like to see, please comment this below. So, guys, we are doing viewer-requested videos all year long. This is the very first one, so whenever you guys do go and submit a request, whenever we publish it to YouTube, your name will be tagged in the title. So that way you know you're getting exactly what you're asked for. We are making your requests all year long. All right, so guys, if you don't like black beans, you can definitely substitute this for pinto beans. I do prefer pinto beans over black beans. But you know what? This is a viewer request video, and we're going to be making a damn delicious black bean dip. You'll like it. You know why? Because I said so. Even if your team doesn't win March Madness, you will win March Madness because of this dip. So before you go, and buy any store-bought dips or chips or anything like that, let's make this. It's super simple. We're going to be cooking it in the Instant Pot. Only takes an hour on high heat. I mean, you could do this over the stove if you don't have an Instant Pot. But you'll be babysitting that pot of beans for about 2.5, 3 hours, and the guys are going to be coming. You're going to have company. Do you really want to use that time watching a pot? I wouldn't. So 1 hour in the Instant Pot over a high-pressure setting. That's it. We're going to let the steam release, and then we'll make it into the most luxurious black bean dip you've ever had. So this is a 1-pound package of black beans that I had soaked overnight, drained, and we've got some nice beef stock in this pot. And I'm just going to go ahead and make sure my black beans are submerged. What you really want to do here is make sure that you have at least 1 inch to 2, actually about 2 inches of liquid over the top of your beans. So that way they have plenty of stuff, plenty of liquid to cook in. Now, you could use regular water, but think about it. Beef and beans. We're thinking about flavor here. This is going to be a slam dunk. Your next March Madness party is going to be all about this dip. So let me show you what I got here. You should see no beans at the top of your Instant Pot. Well, you can do now because I've got it tilted, but you want a good 2 inches of liquid over the top of your beans. All right, so we're going to go ahead and slam this sucker in. This thing fights me. All right. So we're going to put this on a high pressure setting and let it cook for an hour, and I'll see you after that. All right, it's been a little bit over an hour. Our beans are perfectly cooked. Skins are falling off, totally tender, ready to be mashed. So now it's time to turn it into an amazing bean dip. So first thing we're going to do is add in a couple of nice tablespoons of lard. Now, if you want to be a little more health conscious, you could definitely use any sort of neutral high heat oil. But, this is a bit of a tribute to my dad, who is from Mexico. And, growing up, most everything was cooked in lard. It was kind of like their cooking culture. So, big man, if you watch from upstairs, I hope you approve of this. So, we're just going to get some nice lard. If you got pork fat, bacon fat, that would do just as well. Now, that might have been just a little too much lard, so we're removing that. All right, so what we're going to do now, we've got this nice fat, good and hot. We're going to go ahead and add in some veg. This is a half of a yellow onion, diced. And this is 2 jalapeno peppers that I've seeded and chopped pretty fine. So what we're going to do now we're going to hit it with a little kosher salt. All right, so what that kosher salt's going to do is it's going to help these onions break down. Become a little translucent. It's going to help it kind of combine into our dip. So we're going to let this saute off for about 5 minutes. So 5 minutes has passed, and it smells phenomenal in here. It smells really, really good. I'm already getting hungry. All right, so now we're going in with 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. And then we're going to saute that off for just a minute, no longer than a minute. Okay, so 1 minute has elapsed. And now we're going to add in our beautiful black beans. Alright, we're just going to go ahead and get that in there. You see how they're just turning strictly into mush? That's exactly how you want it to be. Okay. Lord, this smells amazing. Oh my god. I shouldn't be cooking when I'm hungry like this. I'm probably going to eat this whole pan. Alright. You've already seen it starting to get a nice color, right? So now we've got to start seasoning, because you know there's been no seasoning added to these beans yet. So I've got in this container 1 teaspoon of regular chili powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder. Let's get that in there. And don't worry, we haven't forgotten about that lovely boiling liquid, that beautiful bean-infused beef stock that we cooked these wonderful beans in. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and lightly season this to taste with kosher salt. You see this? We didn't even need the potato masher for this because of how well they're cooked. Alright, first taste test going in. Oh, that's beautiful. That's money. Oh my god. So now we need a little acidity. A couple squeezes of lime juice. Now we need to add the moisture to get this to the right consistency. We're just going to slowly start adding in our beef and bean juice, as I'm going to call it. Oh yeah, flavor. Ooh, mama. Alright. Wow, this is amazing. I would just eat this by itself. Alright. So now, we need to bring out our new friend, the immersion blender. Because, I mean, if you want to keep your dip chunky, you can. But most of the times when you think of a bean dip, at least commercial bean dips that you get from the store, they are a very smooth consistency. So I'm going to use this bad boy, our immersion blender. Okay, that's about right. I like a smooth bean dip. We've emulsified all that beautiful bean broth, beef broth in it. So I'm just going to take a little quick taste, make sure everything's good. Oh my god, that's perfect. Just a touch more of our kosher salt. Look how beautiful that is, guys. Look how beautiful that is. That's perfect bean dip right there. Could we have gone for longer and got it even more smoother, even more creamier? Yes, we could. But this sounds about right to me. So we're going to go ahead and clean up. I'm going to preheat my oven to about 350 degrees. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so did I mention we were going to be making the best black bean dip ever? Well, we most certainly are. So we're going to take this to the next level here. So I've got me a nice little Pyrex baking dish. We're going to empty our beautiful dip. on top. When I say this has the consistency, it has everything. Alright, so take this beautifully cooked. But guys, normally I'm not a huge fan of black beans, but this is fire. This is super fire. Alright, so spread this guy all out. We got to work on topping this cheese dip to make it next level. Alright, so in this container I have freshly shredded an 8-ounce block of sharp white cheddar. Now, ideally I would have went for a Oaxaca cheese, but there are none available for me to like shred. And the only Oaxaca cheese that's available in the grocery store is a 2-pound bag of Oaxaca cheese pre-shredded, and there's no way I'm going to go through that. And it's like 11 bucks. So I'm using sharp white. Really, any cheddar would work on this, or even Monterey Jack. All right, before we put the cheese on, we're going to just make some really thin slices of a jalapeno. The reason why we're doing this on the mandolin is because I'm not a very choppy chef, which is why you never see me cut anything really. I don't have the knife skills that pay the bills. Alright, very thin slices of jalapeno. We don't even need the whole one. So now, you guessed it, because cheese and beans are a match made in heaven. I want to go ahead and just cover this whole dip with white cheddar. Make it look good. Then we'll add our shaved jalapenos on top for garnish. And just a little heat. I don't know if there's really going to be much heat from this because the seeds kind of stayed on the plane of the mandolin. Try to make it look pretty. Oh. Alright, so I can eat these. But that is our bean dip before it goes in the oven. So I may have mentioned something about homemade tortilla chips at the beginning of the video. Well, while this is heating up to 350, we've got our fryer oil also heating to 350. Plus, you get to see my new deep fryer. All right, so let's go ahead and get this situated and get our tortillas prepped. All right, so these are just some normal store-bought corn tortillas, because if you're making tortilla chips, corn tortilla is really the only way to go. I like white corn, so we're using white corn. All I want to do, yeah. I want to keep these wide chips because we got a pretty thick dip. If you want to cut them a little smaller, you can. But that's what we're going to do here. I want a sturdy chip that'll hold up to the bean dip. So I got some nice tortilla chips cut up. We're going to put this dip into the oven. We're just going for about 10-15 minutes. We just want the cheese to melt and maybe some of those thin jalapenos to get crispy. And then we probably got a couple more minutes to wait for the deep fryer. So let's go. Alright, so this is the Presto Immersion Element Basket Deep Fryer. It gives you a restaurant quality fry no matter, what you're making. And I've used this a lot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fill these baskets maybe a quarter of the way full. And then we're going to sit these guys down for maybe 3-4 minutes. We'll know when they're done because they're going to be nice and golden and they're going to be floating to the top. Now, just like with the immersion blender, I'll send a link in the description to this bad boy. And again, this didn't really cost a whole lot of money. Like $70, Walmart.com. Good kitchen gear. Doesn't have to be expensive kitchen gear. So we're going to set these bad boys down, let them fry up, check it back in about 4-5 minutes. All right, so it's been about 3 minutes. And look at these guys, nice, golden, crispy. So we're going to let them drain just for a little bit. And now that we got some of that residual grease off, oh my god. You hear that? That's the sound of crispiness, guys. 3 minutes, all it took. And another thing that I love about this is I can actually drain my product before putting it in this towel, which means I transfer less, excess grease over. And I just salted those immediately with some kosher salt. All right, so we're going to repeat this process. 3 minutes each basket. Quarter of the way full. Perfect, crispy tortilla chips. My bean dip is about done in the oven, so we're going to be getting that out, and I'll see you guys at plating, tasting, reveal, and I'm psyched. All right, so this has been one for the books, y'all. If you can't tell, I haven't been able to stay out of the chips or anything like this. So before I show you the bowl, here's a picture of what the dip looked like after it came out of the oven. And it looks phenomenal. Now look at this. All right, now look at this. This is a dip for the ages. This is really something right here. All right, so let's go ahead and try it. Ooh. I want to tell you one thing now. I would have not done one thing differently at all. Wow. This is better than those fresh refried beans I made in that chimichanga video. If you haven't checked that out, then I'll leave a link in the description. But man, the consistency is perfect. It's not like refried beans. And these homemade chips, man. This is easily restaurant quality, if not better than Mexican restaurant quality. And I'll put my seal of approval on it. Every step that we took to get here impacted that flavor that we currently have. And you're not going to have anything better than this at your March Madness table, at your tailgate, at your parties, Cinco de Mayo, whatever it is. Or if you just want something hearty to snack on throughout the week, like, I'm keeping this. Like, this is absolutely 19 out of 10 phenomenal. And it's absolutely easy to make. So don't run to the store and buy all this stuff pre-made. It's nowhere near as good. This will win you the March Madness game, whether or not your team wins. All your neighbors, all your friends, they're going to come flocking to your house from here on out. This steals the show. Rebecca, thank you so very much for this request. This turned out to be one of the videos that I'm absolutely most proud of. This is delicious, and it surprised me even. So love you. So I love you. I love you all. If you guys want to see anything else, please, please, please comment them down. And if I make your video, and I'm going to try to get to everybody, okay? Just not a lot of time, but I will get to you as soon as I can. You'll know when it's you because you'll see your name in the title of the video. God bless you guys. Let's eat and enjoy, and I'll see you in another video.